What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome on back to Mass Effect. So last episode, we finished off the Artemis Tau cluster, and we got our first main mission done. We got Liara Tassone. So now it is time to head back to the Citadel. We got a couple things to head back to the Citadel for. We gotta go tell Admiral Kahoku that we found his men, and that's not good news. But also, now that we did a first major plot mission, the vendors for certain things will have updated, and we also have a bunch of new quests on the Citadel, so gonna swing back around. We'll be catching up with Emily Wong. We'll get our first taste of CNN in the Mass Effect universe.
Commander, urgent message from Alliance Command coming in. I'll patch it through.
We got something from Hackett here too, it seems.
This is Admiral Hackett from Alliance Command. We've got a situation here, and you're the only one that can handle it.
What do you need, Admiral?
There's an Alliance training ground where we test weapons and technology in live fire simulations. One of the VIs we use to simulate enemy tactics in the drills is no longer responding to our override commands. It's gone rogue.
And this Alliance facility is something we'll tackle a lot later in the game. We won't be getting to this for a while. This one's a hefty mission.
Are you telling me this computer is thinking on its own?
We're not stupid, Shepard. This is a virtual intelligence, not a true AI. It's not self-aware, and it can't access any external systems. We didn't do anything illegal here. Virtual intelligence support is critical to our military success. VIs process thousands of status reports and react in nanoseconds. No human can do that. We need you to fight your way through the training ground to the VI core and manually disable it.
And anybody who knows where this quest goes in the Mass Effect universe actually knows that he is not on the money when he says it's not an actual artificial intelligence yet, but we'll talk about that more when we get there.
Can't you disable it remotely?
Our fail-safes aren't responding. The VI operates on a closed network. It can affect any external systems, but we don't have any direct access to its processes. We could bomb it from orbit, but the damage to the facility would be catastrophic. We'd prefer to have someone shut down the core. Someone like you. I know Spectres answer the Council, but you're still human. You're still part of the Alliance military, and right now we need you. The VI controls all the facility's weapons, drones, and automated defenses. You're the only one that can pull this off, Shepard. Good luck.
Nothing like stepping into a facility that's literally designed and willing to kill you, huh? At least we're not going in completely blind. Yeah, like I said, because we're a Spectre, we're like the prime candidate to handle things for the Alliance that they wouldn't like to be public. Of course, they don't want to hold that bag in the public eye, right? That they were making a VI that took control of a facility and essentially was trying to become a rogue AI. They're not going to want to admit that publicly or send any official channels through that, so... Lucky or unlucky for us, depending on how you see that, and it's a perfect job for a Spectre, so we will go check that out. That's on the moon, actually. Which, funnily enough, is one of the only times you'll actually see Earth in this game. You can see it in the background skybox of the moon. So who do we want to take here? I'm going to take Liara, because we need to level her up. I don't think we'll need any box opening. This might be a pretty good time to take people that I just want to level up. Be one of the first chances we get to see these people in the squad.
Interior pressure with
I gotta level Rex up because I need him to have his armor and weapon capabilities.
Is ashore. Exo Presley had.
You know what I should have done? I forgot that I took Rex with Liara, so he already leveled up. It should have been Garrus that I brought. He was the one that I needed to bring here. Anyways, first things first, we got 43 points for her, so let's go ahead and get her a Scientist all the way up. That's gonna reduce all the recharge times by 14, first aid heals an additional 70, and reduces recharge on first aid by 40. So that's good off the bat. What we immediately want Liara to be able to do is lift like a kingpin, or a queenpin, I guess, since it's she's a female. Send that on all the way up to Master Lift. Now, we can get her to have electronics, since we have decryption. Let me make sure that's true. Yes, it is. Okay. I thought I did that right. Because this is usually my go-to, which is why I literally took decryption as my bonus talent, so Liara could handle my electronics, and now we can just open everything. So Caden, his services are no longer required. We'll get you up to advanced throw. And then I guess we'll get warp too, because we need to start working on singularity. So as she levels up, next level up actually, if she gets 3 points, we'll unlock singularity, and then all of our points are going to go straight into singularity. That's going to be her upgrade path.
As the deck.
This guy can be pretty funny, actually. We got a little snap inspection to address.
Rear Admiral Mihailovic, 5th Fleet.
We weren't told to expect you, sir. I would have prepared a formal greeting.
Spare me the pleasure.
Something tells me that's an intentional
I command the
ambush.
63rd Scout Flotilla. You and the Normandy were slated for my unit after shakedown. And the Council got their paws, claws, tentacles, whatever. They got them on our ship, and you.
Not necessarily. I still work with humanity's best interests at heart. I'm still Alliance. You see the dog tags around my neck still.
I still serve the Alliance, sir. As a Spectre, I can advance our interests to the Council.
You still know what color your blood is, Shepard? I don't begrudge the politician's decision to throw you to the Council. It's an opportunity. I do begrudge this over-designed piece of tin, though.
Oh, if you saw her in action, you wouldn't call it an over-designed piece of tin.
The Normandy is a fine ship, sir. She's served us well so far.
It's a gimmick, Commander. Useless in a stand-up fight. This experiment
How wrong he
diverted
is.
billions from our appropriations bills. For the same price, we could have had a heavy cruiser. But no, we had to make nice to the Turians, throw money at a co-developed boondoggle. I'm here to make an inspection, Commander. Normandy is an Alliance warship. I intend to see she's up to snuff.
By all means, I think you'd be quite impressed.
We'd be honored to show her to you, Admiral.
I'll just bet. Wait here. I won't be long.
If only this Rear Admiral knew how wrong he was if he could flash forward to the
Commander,
future.
I'm not happy.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Who designed that CIC? Putting the commander aft of everyone else is inefficient. What if he needs to discuss with the operators toward the bow?
Modified Turian style. They prefer commanders looking over their subordinates rather than in the middle of them. We wanted to see how effectively they can command with that setup.
Fluff that up a little bit.
Reasonable, but they should have studied that in a lab rather than on a frontline warship. I had to shake my head at that drive core of yours. 120 billion credits at element 0 to make this thing able to move without giving itself away. You realize we could make drive cores for 12,000 fighters with that money? What good is it to hide for a few hours anyway? Useless.
Actually, quite useful for forward recon. The Rear Admiral here is kind of short-sighted.
We can loiter in an enemy system and monitor traffic, or drop infiltration teams on enemy worlds. Normandy can be more effective than the Solarian STG.
Maybe. But that's not the job of a proper warship. We're supposed to find and kill the enemy fleet, not count how many times their garrison goes to the bathroom.
Hard to please,
We
ain't he?
need to talk about your crew, Commander.
Indeed.
Krogan? Asari? Turians? What are you thinking, Commander? You can't allow alien nationals free access to Alliance equipment?
Actually, they're helping the cause more than the Alliances. The Alliance isn't in the Attic and Traverse helping the colonies, are they? So that'd be me and my Krogan, Asari, Quarian, and Turian allies.
Between Saren and the Geth, we have enough enemies out here. Treating other species with suspicion and distrust won't win hearts and minds.
That assumes the hearts and minds are worth winning. That hasn't been proven yet. You have anything else to say, Commander? Any other justifications for the state of this vessel?
Oh, I think you might like this last one, sir.
I think the Normandy is a good ship, sir. Even if you disagree, you have to see that her joint construction and multiracial crew make the Alliance look better.
Your job is to look good, Commander. The Alliance navies is to win wars. I'm not convinced Normandy isn't a waste of taxpayer money, but I am convinced that you believe otherwise, and that you'll use it to its best ability. I'll be submitting a report to the Joint Military Council. It will not be as negative as I'd planned.
So like I
Good
said,
hunting, Commander
he came in here
Make us proud.
intentionally ambushing us. The goal of his little visit there was to catch us off guard and unprepared for his inspection, catch it in kind of a mess, and be able to sabotage us by reporting us to the Alliance Committee.
Seeing the ward stretching out before you really makes you appreciate the Citadel as a true wonder of Prothean engineering.
Like I said, it's a shame we can't catch up with him in a game or two, and then catch his revised opinion on the Normandy SR1, because boy can she fly, and boy is she good in a straight-up fight, so that's too bad that we can't catch up with that.
In entertainment news, Francis Kitt has announced plans to direct Hamlet with L-Corps cast members. The production will open dramatic theater to the L-Corps with a Hamlet who uses L-Corps body language and pheromones. Kitt claims that he's also excited by giving a human audience the chance to judge Hamlet by his deeds and not his emotions.
Right. Because that's what we go to Broadway plays for. I don't know if you can imagine those big elephant bros doing kind of a dramatic Broadway play, especially when they have to announce their intentions beforehand, but man, I'd actually pay good money to see that. And here is our CNN reporter.
Commander Shepard?
And I'm sure you can already imagine how biased she's going to be in her reportings. I'm sure this is going to be very good faith.
Khaleesa been seen in Al-Jalani, Westerland News. Would you answer a few questions for our viewers?
I don't see why not. Being forthright and transparent is important, right?
What do you want to know?
You've been given a unique position to represent our race. People want to get a sense of how you'll do that.
Being the first human Spectre would come with media obligations.
The galactic community for 26 years. With that in mind, what are your feelings on being the first human Spectre?
We're gonna have to try and be a little sweet here with the words, since it's gonna be on national TV and, well, galactic TV, actually.
The Spectres represent the best of every species in the galaxy. To be asked to join them is an honor.
I do really believe that.
Some have said your appointment is the Citadel throwing humans a bone. Have you encountered any situations where the Citadel asked you to place its needs before the needs of Earth?
I think they know better than to do that, and I don't think they would do that in general, to be honest, especially not with a human's position in the current galaxy.
The Council is concerned with the needs of the whole galactic community. We're part of that community now. Our needs are on their agenda, but we're one of many.
You really do believe that, don't you?
Well, that comes
You've been given command
about
of
the
an
odds and ends
advanced
of it.
human warship for your missions. Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
Well, the Turians did help us build it. It's not all us, right?
Actually, the Normandy was co-developed by human and Turian engineers. Its design incorporates many innovations, all of which are classified, I'm afraid.
So the Turians have knowledge of the Normandy that is being kept secret from the Alliance public? Do you think it was
there's the
appropriate
twist
to
and
hand
spin.
Earth's most advanced warship over to the Citadel?
See, nobody said we handed anything over, and since they helped build it, technically, if you want to get down to brass tacks, it is the humans and Turians' ship, since it was a 50-50 project, but the crew is still very much Alliance. It was Captain Anderson before, and now it's Commander Shepard. Every leader ever of the Normandy has been a high-ranking Alliance official, so she's wrong and she can stick that up her ass.
I wasn't aware it had been handed over to anyone. I'm in command, and last I checked, I'm human. Same goes for my crew.
Human, yes, but you do work for the Citadel now, Commander. One last question, Commander. Rumors back home say you're tracking a rogue Spectre named Saren. Do you have any comment on that?
And now here is where I'm gonna say something that the council and everybody else won't like, because I'm gonna tell the truth about Saren, because the people deserve to know who was behind that attack.
Saren instigated the attack on our colony at Eden Prime. Once his involvement was proven to the Council, I was assigned to bring him in.
That's surprising, Commander.
Breaking news.
The official line says Eden Prime was attacked by rogue synthetics.
I'm sure it does.
Good luck in your mission. Thank you for your time.
Well, now you can change the official line, can't you, and have it reflect reality. Not the political red tape bullshit that you were fed by sources inside CSEC or the council chamber or wherever you got that from. Like I said, I'll play nice, because I'm not exactly just going to go against the council for no reason, but at a certain point, you also got to tell the truth, and hiding things like that from the galactic species as a whole is just wrong. That's a misstep, so I'll correct that. I'll go ahead and tell them exactly who Saren is and what he did and why he did what he did, and that's how that's going to be. I'm not going to carry water for a rogue Spectre.
This is not what Jake would want.
Who are you to tell me what my husband would want?
I'm the only person making sense right now. You're endangering your baby.
This is actually an interesting one.
The only thing I have left of Jake.
Both people here have very relatable reasons for saying what they say, so let's check this out.
I don't care what you think, Michael. It's my decision.
I know you're hurting, Rebecca, but don't let your grief hurt your baby too.
This is another one of those wild situations, by the way, where Shepard just walks around and eavesdrops, and people are just totally okay with unburdening their souls. This is such a personal issue that we're about to get involved in.
Can I help you with anything?
Perhaps you can talk some sense into her.
I don't need anyone to talk sense into me, Michael. I'm not undergoing the treatments.
My sister-in-law here is pregnant, and she's refused to let the baby undergo gene therapy in utero.
Keyword is sister-in-law here.
I'm certain that she has a good reason. I'd like to hear both sides.
My husband Jacob died from a rare heart condition several months ago.
There's a chance that the baby could develop the same heart condition, but routine gene therapy can eliminate it.
A very small chance, Michael. And extranet reports say the therapy could harm the child.
It's less dangerous than the genetic enhancements that every soldier in the Alliance receives.
Boy, is the baby that's in her womb an Alliance soldier? Because that has inherent risks too. It's not exactly a one-to-one comparison, is it? If you're willing to take the risks to dodge bullets coming at your face, then you take the risks to have enhancements, but the baby's not a soldier. It's also not his child, keep in mind. Sister-in-law. He's just the uncle.
What are the chances that your child will develop the heart condition?
According to the doctors, there's a 1 in 50 chance. And if my baby develops the condition, medical treatments are available.
Which are nowhere near as effective as simply getting the gene therapy.
What are the chances that gene therapy could hurt the baby?
1 in 300 at most.
But extranet articles say there could still be long-term complications we don't know about. Don't you understand? If my baby is that 1 in 300, I will always wonder if I killed my baby for nothing.
I'm sure she would think the same if she happened to be the 1 in 50 and the baby was born with a heart condition, but like she said, there are treatments available, and the natural order of things here is the natural order, right? The chance of the condition is the chance that everybody takes. That just happens to be a genetic therapy that can alter this. But that's his call. It's not his child, it's not his wife. He's just the brother-in-law. He doesn't really have any right to dictate what she does or doesn't do with her child. I understand why he's so attached to this, because his brother's dead and he's dealing with his grief by trying to secure the bag on his nephew or niece. But it's not really his call. And the father is dead, which means the only person that has any kind of parental consent here is the mother. And it's quite simply, it's her choice. It doesn't matter what I think, and it doesn't matter what he thinks. It's her baby. She's the only legal guardian of that child. So it has absolutely nothing to do with him, and certainly nothing to do with me. So I'm going to do the only right thing here, and it's her choice. If she doesn't want to get gene therapy on herself and her child, that's up to her. And if she does, that's also up to her. It's her choice here.
It's Rebecca's child, Michael. I think you should honor her decision.
Damn it, she's not choosing. She's acting blindly out of grief.
Isn't that exactly what he's doing, though? He lost his brother, so now he's trying to force this woman, who also lost her husband and the father of her child, into some actions to help him sleep better at night. But what about her sleeping better at night? Isn't that the important part here? Because she's the mother. She's the one that could potentially have, like, a stress miscarriage or something here. And he's just making her freak the fuck out, like, your baby's gonna die if you don't have this thing. Like, he's the one that is handling his grief incorrectly. She's just trying to protect her child, which is what every mother should do.
I know you want the best for your brother's child, but this isn't your decision.
Of course it is! I'm the closest thing to a father this baby is going to have.
No, you're the uncle, and of course it's not. You didn't make the child, you didn't help. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you put the baby batter in there, Chief. And it's not like the baby's gonna call you daddy when it grows up. You're gonna be Uncle Tom, so hail it back a few inches.
Is this about keeping the baby safe, or is this about you losing your last link to your brother?
Hit the nail on the head, Shepard.
This baby is the only thing my brother... It's all I have left of him. I need to know.
You don't need to know that, and you will never know that regardless. It's a nasty galaxy.
Too, Michael.
Correct.
I just want Jacob's child to be safe. I want to give him that much.
By stressing his wife out 24/7, trying to play father.
I promise. Thank you for talking with us. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. This guy gives me, like, overbearing, I'm gonna, like, let me be there for your healing period kind of guy, where he's like, no, it's all good. I'll step in. I'll be the daddy. My brother used to, like, have you, but now it's my turn to bed you. That's the kind of vibes he gives me. Real creepy, like, overbearing, weird shit. He should just be there supporting whatever decisions she makes. Because, like I said, he's the uncle. He's not the father. So, back up, relax a little, and let her do her thing. He should be making the process as easy as possible on her. So, she's already stressed and grief, right? He lost a brother, but she lost a husband and a father to her child. I'm not trying to say which one's worse than which, but...
Krogan, Rex. I'm surprised that you are willing to fight and kill them.
Anyone who fights us is either stupid
or on Saren's payroll. Killing the latter is business. Killing the former is a favor to the universe.
Boy, I love Rex. And that's a good idea of where his loyalties are at, right? She just asked him straight up, I'm surprised you're willing to kill Krogan. He said, honestly, any Krogan we run into, they're either working for Saren or they're stupid. And if they're working for Saren, I'm down to kill them. And if they're working for stupid, then that's just a favor to cleanse my gene pool. This is a pretty tough quest, actually. This hits home in a lot of different places for the treatment of veterans and things in the real world, I think. This is a tough one. This is our class-specific quest, so you only get this if you're a spacer like we are.
Hey, been a long time, huh?
I'm sorry. Do we know each other?
I guess you don't remember me. Lieutenant Zabelata? I worked with your mother. We served on the carrier Einstein. Well, that was 12, 13 years back, though. You were just a kid then.
I guess you're not in the service anymore, huh?
You're retired, yeah. You know how it is. Times are tough for vets. They always are.
I didn't see her much that tour. The ship was on patrol most of the time.
Hey, call your mom up and ask. She'd remember old Zabelata. She'd vouch for me. Look, I need a favor. I'm kind of short on money these days. I hate hitting you up for money, but a man's gotta eat, right? So, could you spare something? Maybe 20 credits.
20 isn't enough to get you back on your feet, is it?
No. I'll just get a meal, you know.
So he knows our mother, and simply for that, we're going to give him the money here, but we're not going to leave it just there. We're going to follow up with our mother back on the Normandy about this, but for now, we'll give him the opportunity to get some food.
You're a good kid, you know that?
Hopefully he won't
Thanks.
take that straight to the liquor store.
Come by and talk, I'll be here. Huh? Can't afford a ticket home, right?
Well, maybe we'll be able to do something about that for you. So that's going to start that quest. We do need to go swing by the embassies. We got to talk to Miss Dantius.
For the anniversary of the end of the Rachni Wars.
Yeah, the treatment of veterans is
Asari and Solarian
rough,
colonies will hold victory parades to commemorate
rough in Mass Effect, and it's rough in reality too. A lot of veterans get a real bad deal.
Several Asari colonies
there isn't much appreciation for the work that they do and the things that they risk to uphold the invisible blanket of peace and safety, right? A lot of people have a pretty distasteful view on soldiers and the military and things like that in general, but it's kind of like holding back the unseen shadows. It's a very thankless job, which is shown when they come home and they get treated like shit and they have a hard time getting assistance. You gotta think about it from that perspective too, on a psychological level. When you live day to day being told how to do everything, just not really making decisions for yourself, just you say jump, I say how high, just following orders, and then really high stakes situations like combat missions, and then you just expect them to go back to society and make every decision for their own without any guidance or assistance and no real experience in the social space like that. It's pretty rough, man. And then again, it's a thankless job. You have your own citizens too. They don't see all the dangers, and so they think your job is you just like to shoot at people. You just like to blow shit up, right? Which is hardly ever the case. There's some bad eggs. People obviously do join for that, but that's not anywhere near always the case. Very thankless job, and it doesn't pay good either, which is why most of them end up in trouble once they retire.
I know you. You're Commander Shepard, the human Spectre. Is there something I can do for you?
You're Nassana, right? I ran into your sister, Dahlia. It didn't end well for her.
What? Are you saying she's...
If you remember, we ran into her sister with those Asari slavers we ran into, and I think it was the first star system we explored in the series, actually. Well, she's about to try and play it off, but she can drop it. We saw the communications between.
Dahlia's dead, Nassana, and I know she was blackmailed.
And we saw the proof in the pudding.
And I was all set to try to manipulate you into hunting her down for me. But I guess that won't be necessary now, will it?
I guess not.
You wanted your sister dead?
If people found out my sister was a criminal, I'd be considered a security risk. They'd revoke my clearance, or place me on administrative leave until she was apprehended.
Ice cold.
I shall transfer a little something into your account as a token of my appreciation. I'm sure you'll find the amount satisfactory.
I can pass on all that. I don't need your
want
blood money.
Blood money.
Correct.
I do not like being in anyone's debt. Consider it a fee for doing your civic duty if it makes you feel any better. Or give it away to some
I
charity.
think my real civic duty here would be to either put a pistol in her face or just to turn her into the authorities, but speak about ice cold Asari, right? She doesn't care that her sister is dead at all. In fact, she was going to try and admittedly manipulate us into icing her sister for her because she doesn't want to deal with any of that. It's quite crazy when you put your career over direct sibling family like that, but that's Asari, man. Manipulative, icy. That's not the only Asari we'll run into that views things like that, and we'll actually run into Nassana at a later date too. That's not the last we'll see of her in the Mass Effect trilogy, but it is the last we'll see of her in this Mass Effect game. Alright, so I think our next stop, our next quest is gonna be... I think it's the Citadel Tower. I think that's where Emily Wong is. It's Citadel Tower or CSEC. Let's see. Indeed, it's the Citadel Tower.
Commander Shepard, could I have another word with you? Hello again, Commander. I've got a proposition for you. Since you helped me get information on the crime syndicate, I've gotten a lot more backing from my publishers. I'm investigating traffic controller conditions now, and I wondered if you could help.
Traffic controllers seems to be a big step down from the things she was investigating before.
That seems like a step down from wide-scale corruption.
Actually, in a way, it's more important. This isn't about people getting rich. This is about safety. I've heard rumors that the space traffic controllers are overworked to a dangerous degree. I can't get into the control room, but you could. If you planted a bug inside, I could crack the story.
So she wants me to engage in some, like, corporate espionage for her to get a quick scoop here. And who knows what else she'll be trying to dig into while there's a bug inside there. I'm not so sure about this one.
If you crack this story, what's likely to happen?
Ideally, there will be calls to improve working conditions by hiring more controllers and upgrading systems. The Council won't pay for improvements voluntarily. This story will provide that pressure.
So you want to pressure the Council into making a concession.
What will this bug allow you to pick up?
Just audio and video. I'm not trying to tap into the traffic control system if that's what you're worried about. I just need to hear and see them in order to correlate their activity with traffic efficiency.
Well, just because she's not willing to or trying to tap into security and all that stuff, even though that's what she says, we'd have to take her at her word on that. But even if that's to be true, then it doesn't necessarily mean that people can't get to her and tap into security and comms and docking and all that stuff. Putting a bug there opens a giant hole for leaks that I'm not very comfortable with. And also, she should be careful getting involved in all this kind of stuff too, because people vanish when they get too close to political things like this. And she has her head on straight for the most part. Planting a bug in a Citadel security tower like that, I don't know about that. Because if you think about it, if that gets into the wrong hands, a bug that we put there might be for good causes here. But if that gets into the wrong hands, a crime lord catches wind of that, next thing you know, she's dangled off a balcony for the password. And then all these criminals and crooks and syndicates on the Citadel, they have access to everything. They can open dark spaceports, they can get blackmail on some of the dock workers themselves. The hole is just too big to open up a leak like that.
Everyone knows space traffic controllers are overworked. How is this news?
There's a difference between overworked and dangerous. Traffic at the Citadel has increased by 300% in the last century, but traffic controller resources haven't kept up. We already have several last-minute wave-offs per week. Do we have to wait for a full-blown disaster?
So the point that she's making is a fair point, but this, I mean, I'm about to ask the question of the danger of the bug. That needing to be addressed and the resources needing to be kept up is true, and that's kind of like that in real life too. Like the air traffic controller situation in real life is a mess sometimes, especially in certain parts of the world. Like they're just understaffed. If you'd be amazed at how many planes and helicopters just one person is responsible for. It's nuts. There should be way more staff involved in those situations, but a security breach and bug is not where you should try and do that. She should be organizing events or starting bills and petitions, things like that. What we don't need is a bug here.
This bug you want me to plant, could it interfere with traffic signals?
Absolutely not. I made certain that the frequencies it uses won't interfere with anything.
Right. And then somebody gets it from you and changes the frequency, and then all of a sudden...
I can't promise anything, but I'll see what I can do. Give me the bug.
So we're gonna get her to give me the bug.
Excellent.
But we're actually
Just
not gonna
place
do
it on
this
the terminal
quest.
with a good view of the area. Thanks again for your help. In the long run, this story is going to save lives.
Yeah, I'm sure she thinks that, but I don't think that it will. And I think there's too big of a risk for potential issues coming from this.
I'm not detecting any signals from the bug yet.
I certainly don't want to be involved in this, so we're gonna go ahead and tell her that we changed our mind with our Paragon option. We'll get 8 Paragon for this, but I'm just not comfortable with putting a bug in C-Sec security like that. There's too many potential leaks, too many potential problems. And it could put a huge target on her back that I'm not comfortable with either, so...
I'm not going to plant this bug. This isn't a good idea.
Why not? The controllers need someone to tell their story, and the public deserves to know.
It's all under control. Were you truly concerned, or just digging for ratings?
No, of course not. I'm trying to protect public safety. I'm trying to help people. I'll have to rethink this story. Maybe if I sell it as tough workers in a thankless job, they'd give me an interview.
That's the way to go
Here.
about it.
Thanks for investigating and for new information. I'm going to talk to my publisher.
Yeah, that's the way that she needs to go about that. Interview the workers themselves. If they want to talk about it, then they can talk about it. That'll get them in the public eye. It'll get eyes on the issue, right? Then maybe something changes. But you can't... I mean, I explained it enough, I think. But you can't just plant bugs in the middle of C-Sec. Because that's where that is. The Citadel control is in the top portion of C-Sec. So a bug there would have access to all those other critical systems too. And even if it was just in the docks, it would have access to all that stuff too. Not happening. Not on my back, at least. If they want to do it with something else, then they can figure that out, but that won't be on my conscience.
In the Eden Prime investigation, the Council has reportedly revoked the...
Well, that story already broke news, huh?
While the unnamed operative has not yet been apprehended,
well, he's not unnamed anymore.
Confirmed that corrective actions had been taken.
And we put a name to that asshole's face. Nassana Dantius. So we're going to go back inside the Normandy, and then we're going to go to the comm chamber, and we're actually going to get to speak to one of our parents, which is a really cool thing. It's the only background that you actually have parents, and you'll get to talk to them again later in the franchise too. But this is the only one out of the 3 origins that actually has parents.
The commanding officer is aboard.
Earthborn and the colonist ones, they don't have parents like this. Another cool thing about Spacer, I think, because your whole family is Alliance through and through here, and your mother and father, I think, but they're both pretty high up, ranking Alliance members.
Computer, give me a real-time connection to the Dreadnought Kilimanjaro.
And they're on the Kilimanjaro.
I want to speak to my mother, XO Shepard.
Shepard speak. Oh, hi. I don't have time for a personal call right now. I'm on duty.
I know what that's like. Do you remember a Lieutenant Zabelata from the Einstein?
Ernesto? Have you heard from him? He was one of the Marines who guarded the CIC. We shared a watch. I lost track of him after there was an incident.
I've seen him here on the Citadel. Looks like he's had some hard times.
I don't doubt it. You remember the Batarian raid on Mindwar in 2170? You were in high school. The Einstein's task group responded to the Mayday. The Batarians were still pulling out when the Marines hit groundside. Zabelata was one of the first down. He was never quite the same after.
Yeah, and this is going to explain one of my big problems with Batarians, but a Batarian slave raid, I'm sure he saw all kinds of shit.
I don't understand. What happened down there?
About every abomination that a sentient being can do to another. To a slaver, a person is just another animal.
Correct.
And
They strip away their humanity, their rights, their self-identity.
We heard about corralling, culling. They'd shoot those they couldn't use, implant control devices in the skulls of those they could, without anesthetic.
You see, the Batarians are sick fucks. Not only are they involved in slavery, which is repulsive on its base value, but they also implant in devices inside people with no anesthetic, just shooting somebody in the face that they can't use for hard labor and work to death. Just pop them there in front of their family. Nah. You can understand why Ernesto is a little messed up after seeing stuff like that.
He has post-traumatic stress because of what he saw?
I'd say so.
He tried to keep working, but it rode him. He showed up drunk on duty more and more. We couldn't always cover for him. The Alliance discharged him. Everyone knew he drank because of what he'd seen down there, even if he never talked about it. Especially because he never talked about it.
Discharged without assistance, huh?
For it to have affected him that deeply, he must have been a very sensitive man.
Hard to turn yourself off to things like that.
Always in laughter and tears. If you see him, tell him we still worry about him. Tell him to go to the Veterans Affairs office. I have to go, but take care of yourself. You're making us proud. Kilimanjaro out.
Yeah, I'm sure our mother there and our father, wherever he is, I'm sure they're both the talk of the town, really, that their son inside the Alliance just became the first human Spectre. And not only that, but is sent to go track down another rogue Spectre. I'm sure that they having plenty of conversations while they're on watch or on patrol. So, since we did Rex, let's get Garrus out now when we head back to our friend, or our mother's friend. We are gonna go help him get to the Veterans office.
Interior pressure.
I'm sure he just needs a little push.
Atmosphere. Logged.
We'll go deal with that.
Officer is ashore. Exo.
I think a lot of times people deserve more than they get, and especially in a situation like that where you've seen so much and you've given so much to the cause, and then, I don't want to say turned their back on, but I mean, they kind of did just discharge him, right? Without any assistance or backing, so now you have the ability to wear medium armor. We may as well get the one extra for the armor boost. Let's level up your assault rifles a little bit. What does assault training do? Weapon damage, and this is increases damage by 18. So this is more worth it for now. Now that we've got that topped off, we could give you electronics, but you already have Master Overload, so that won't do as much. Yeah, that just affects our vehicle repair and stuff. First aid, we don't necessarily need any more in this. I guess now we'll get some assault training. Or maybe we take tack armor. Let's top off tack armor. Then he's as robust as he's gonna be, basically. We can go ahead and give him some of his Turian gear, finally. I've been holding on to this for a while. So we have Silverback is the better one, I believe. Yeah. Silverback is the good Turian gear, I think. I think that's the one that you always want for Turians, is Silverback. Let me see. You don't have anything here. What are our options? Energized Weave and Kinetic Buffer. Let's do Energized Weave because I would like to give Liara the Kinetic Buffer because it has a 10% cooldown reduction. So she's going to get all her biotic abilities faster.
Has the deck.
Been saving up goodies for our companions for a while now. I do so wish there was a fast travel terminal up here, man, so I could skip this little elevator ride back down.
Wong goes inside the fast-paced world of space traffic controllers with an exclusive interview.
I guess she got her interview. Like a dog with a bone. The hard woman to keep off the trail. And see, that's fine. She does need to be careful with the way that she goes about her investigative journalism, because planting bugs inside restricted areas, that's going to get you the wrong kind of attention, right? You're going to find yourself on the bad side of a lot of eyeballs in high places if you do things like that. But getting interviews with dock workers, just getting people to share their story, I'm totally fine with that. I support that. If she had asked me to talk to the dock workers and get her an interview with my Shepard abilities, I would have been way more on board with that. So we'll go to Zabelata, and we'll get him to the veterans office, and then I'm going to swing by the markets, because I think that our good old friend Conrad might be there. Because we did do a major plot world, so I think the good old fan of us will be present, but we'll see. Should be. I think he upgrades after every plot world.
In light of the recent attack on Eden Prime, many colonial investors are pulling their support for future projects. Proponents of expanded human colonization insist that Eden Prime was an isolated case. Nevertheless, colonist enrollment has dropped sharply. Many colonial proposals are on hold until backers have some reassurance that human colonies will be adequately protected.
It's going to take a while for human colonies to have the assurance that they'll be adequately protected. I mean, the Council doesn't want to do shit, and the Alliance isn't part of the Council, so we can't exactly force their hand yet. We're getting there. Human Spectre is a great first step.
Hey, back again, huh? I don't suppose you got any credits to spare.
I spoke to my mother. She told me about what happened on Mindoir.
Did she? I wonder. People tied like prize hogs, locked in cages, clawing and screaming as they're loaded into cargo pods. And we couldn't reach them. The Batarian defenses had us pinned. Dozens died trying to advance. All we could do was watch as they hauled people away.
I imagine the guilt of that too.
For something to make that sight go away. What have you got, huh?
Not only did you have to witness all those horrors, but you also had to deal with the fact that you were inadequate and you couldn't save them. That would do a number on anybody's mental, man. Especially when you continuously see it when you close your eyes.
I'm not going to give you money to drink yourself to death. You need to stop this.
If you don't have a better option, just give me 20 credits. A good bottle of whiskey. Enough to stop the dreams.
Sad man. You gotta go talk to somebody. Get your head straight.
My mother said to go to the Veterans Affairs office. You're not the only one who's seen that brand of hell. They can help.
The VAO? God.
Look, man, if it's just 10% better, it's 10% better.
She wants me to go talk to someone.
There's a chance, there's a chance.
For her. She always stuck up for me.
If it doesn't work, then I'll give you your 20 credits.
She always was naive. All the VAO does is pump you full of chemicals. If she wants to talk, tell her she can reach me through the Citadel VAO.
Well, isn't pumping yourself full of chemicals exactly what you're already doing anyways, man? Like you're already just putting poison in your body to make yourself feel better.
Exogeny Corp
Didn't hurt, right?
released an official statement regarding their missing survey team in the Hades Gamma Cluster.
I think we found that survey team.
Statement, the remains of the survey team were discovered not far from their abandoned research camp. There were no survivors.
I believe that was one of the syndicates for Helena Blake were the ones that smoked them.
Or mercenaries. Names will be released after next of kin are notified.
That was indeed mercenaries of a kind. That was the crime syndicate planet where we found those bodies, so I'm pretty sure that's what had happened to them. They're not going to want a random research team on a planet where they're creating red sand heroin and branding slaves and stuff, right? They're not going to want exogeny witnesses to that, so they found themselves in shallow graves. Alright, now we can go to the markets. We'll check for Conrad Verner, and if he's not there, I'll wrap the episode, and then I'll make my swing around all the different merchants here and make sure I bought all the things that I want. Conrad is back, I thought so.
Hey, Commander Shepard, it's me, Conrad Verner. Remember me?
The hand in the sky. How could I forget?
There are rumors on the extranet that you've been made the first human Spectre. That's incredible.
Being a Spectre is a big responsibility. I just want to make humanity proud.
The vids are all talking about Commander Shepard fighting for all of us back home. And they also say that you don't take crap from anybody. You're showing them what humans can do.
Trying to.
Hey, can I get your picture?
You want my picture now? We already gave the autograph. I don't think it's too bad of a thing, right, to take a selfie. Although, what a great prediction that this game had for where the world was going to go. Because back when this game first came out, that whole, like, let me take a selfie real quick kind of culture when you meet somebody, that wasn't really a thing, but it really has become this. Most people will meet their heroes, and instead of asking questions and trying to actually connect with them, they'll just take a picture and move on. They just want to prove to other people that they met the person. They don't actually want to meet the person. It's just kind of crazy when you think about it, but here you go, Conrad.
Problem with it, but why?
You're a hero, Shepard.
Please don't say your wife will be
Decades
impressed.
From now, humanity's going to remember you, and I'll have your picture. Just hold up your gun.
His voice took a kind of a creepy tone, though. You know what's crazy is we were pointing our gun right at the Volus merchant for that picture.
My wife will love it.
I don't think she will, Conrad. And what's crazy about that too is if you play a female Shepard, that means Conrad is literally obsessed with another woman and hangs pictures of them in the living room. But yeah, see, we were pointing our gun right at the back of the Stellarian's head there, or the Volus merchant for that picture, which is kind of crazy when you look at them. Like, they have no idea what's going on. Some dude in heavy armor just points a pistol at their head. Lucky we didn't have a CSEC incident. Anyways, that is all of the quests on the Citadel after the first plot world, so that is going to be a big ol' wrap for this one. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out those links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Mass Effect. Take care everybody, have a great day. Peace.